guys, and welcome to All About Ollie. This is his 1 year update. That's right, he just turned 1 year old. Can you believe it? I don't know if you guys remember, but his very first All About Ollie, I held him like a little burrito, all swaddled up, and he just laid there the whole time. And he was quiet as can be and good as can be. And now I'm not sure we'll make it through this video. He might just start crying, actually. He's just a crazy active 1-year-old. He is walking around like crazy. He loves just being busy. He is literally always busy. I don't know if he ever sits still unless he is asleep. I feel like I know a lot of kids that kind of can sit and play, and he's just the kind of kid that wants to be up, running around, grabbing stuff, pulling stuff down, grabbing everything, which I think is how most kids are. It's funny because he's a very, very active little boy. We have been working on sign language with him for quite a while now. I kind of tried to start it as early as I could, but to be honest, I just wasn't extremely consistent with it. So there's some things, whoop, there he goes. There's some things that I was consistent on, and for some reason it was all done. I would always say all done when we got out of the bath, and he quickly learned all done, and now he says all done, and he says it with his hands and his mouth, which I think is really, really cool. I think that's like the first word that he like truly understands, although he does say mama and dada, but he'll only say it if like almost an emergency, you know what I mean? Mama, dada. He talks a lot with his mouth. He's always like he's always sticking his tongue out, trying to talk, trying to communicate with us, which I just think is really, really cute. As far as food, as you guys know, we made it to a whole year of breastfeeding, which I am really, really excited about. Still breastfeeding. We're at about 3 to 4 times a day, just kind of depending. The main ones are before bed. Does still do a middle of the night, which isn't terrible, but we do want to work on getting rid of that one soon. He still does nap time, so he does about 3, and if he does 2 naps, then it'll be 4. So we are starting that weaning process, but we're just taking it really slow. Slowly but surely, we are going to go ahead and start weaning out breastfeeding, although it has been an amazing journey. I'm a huge breastfeeding advocate, and it was just an awesome experience, and I can't wait to do it again, to be honest. But as far as his food, we've been feeding him solid since he was 6 months, and he started out with eating a lot of the purees. I would make his food. Woo! Careful. Come here. Do you want to sit with mama? There we go. Don't hold this. I would make a lot of his food, and plus we would buy a lot of like Ella's Kitchen, Plum's organic type of packet food. He did really good with that, but then when we slowly started transitioning to table foods, that's when he started to show a lot more pickiness to him. So it's been a little bit difficult with food, really just starting to, I feel like it does have to do with teething, that like he doesn't want to put anything in his mouth almost. So literally the only thing he wants to eat is like cheese and bread. We did introduce a little bit of whole milk into his diet. Not a lot, just, you know, a little bit, because we are still breastfeeding, so he doesn't need a ton of milk. Plus he likes cheese, so he usually can get his dairy from that as well. So far he has 7 teeth. He's got 4 on top, and then he has 2 on bottom, and then he just had 1 pop up on the right side. Well, yeah, his right side of the mouth. Now he's got 3 on the bottom, so I think that there are more coming in. As far as his sleep, he's actually a really good sleeper. So he goes to bed like around 7:30, depending, give or take. Then he usually will sleep all the way until about 1 o'clock, and that's when he wakes up. I nurse him for maybe 5 minutes, and then he goes right back to sleep, and he'll sleep till about 7:30, and then sometimes he even wants to go right back to bed after that. I'll get up with him and I'll nurse him, and he'll go back to sleep sometimes and sleep like a couple more hours, which is amazing. I know that I'm lucky. I know a lot of you moms are like, what? That's not fair! Like, my kid wakes up at 5 a.m. And I'm really sorry. I did get lucky in that department. He is a good sleeper, but I do wake up at least 1 time at night to nurse him. Sometimes I lay here and I nurse and I actually fall asleep. As far as Oliver napping, he takes a very good, consistent, at least 1 nap a day. It usually happens about a couple hours after he wakes up, and he loves that nap. He knows it's night time. When he's ready to go to bed, he's like night, and then he takes a good at least 1.5 hours, sometimes 2-hour nap for that first one, and it is so nice. As far as all his milestones, he is walking, clearly. He's very good at walking. He's in swimming and he can swim underwater right now, but he's still not able to float on his back, and he's definitely not able to like pull himself out of the pool quite yet, like on his own. He can you say all done? He'll say it because he's all done. Okay, Ollie had to take a little break, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish up. So as far as nursing, I've been trying to do this, but for the most part we always nurse in the dark, and so it's really hard for me to like show him what nursing is. So really what he does when he wants to nurse is he kind of pats on my chest. Sometimes he'll kind of tug on my shirt, and that's about it. But for the most part he really doesn't ask to nurse. That's very, very rare when he does that. I actually just took him to his 1-year doctor's appointment, which went awesome. So he is 28 inches tall, so that puts him in the 10th percentile. He is definitely going to be a shorty like the rest of my family, which I'm not surprised. Hopefully he's not going to be too short. Basically everyone in my family, like all the guys in my family, are about 5'6" to 5'7". Hopefully he won't be too much shorter than that, but 10th percentile is pretty short. And then for his weight, he's about 21 pounds. He's in the 25th percentile, which she said was perfect. And then his head circumference, I can't remember what it was. I think it was 18 inches. I could be wrong, but I think it was 18, and that was the 50th percentile. He's got a pretty average head, and he's pretty short. I can't believe that my little Oliver is 1 year old, and I feel like it's so cliche. Like, I just want to be like, this went so fast. It's such a cliche thing to say. It's like what every single mom says, but honestly, you can't even like imagine how fast it goes until you're a mom and you're like, whoa, that year went really fast. Like, I still remember him being this little tiny baby, and then all of a sudden he's like running around the house, and it's in a year. How much a child changes is insane, because that's got to be the most change that happens throughout a person's life, because I feel like it starts to slow down now. So in 1 year, to think that he was, you know, this little tiny baby, 6 pounds, and he was just so small and just adorable, and now he's like this little boy, and he's got this perfect blonde hair and these perfect blue eyes and this like perfectly tanned skin. He's like this dream child. Obviously it can be tough some days, and he's so busy and he's so into everything that I'm like sometimes going out of my mind, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with this kid? He's still just perfect, and I wouldn't want him to be any other way, because he makes life exciting and fun and adventurous, and it's just been a really crazy time. I hope you guys enjoyed this update on Oliver. If you don't know, I actually just did a 1-year postpartum update. So I talked about my body image, I talked about future babies and my future pregnancies and future surgery and stuff like that. So if you want to know when I'm going to have another perfectly beautiful child, make sure you check out that video. It'll be linked below. I hope you guys did enjoy this video though, and give it a thumbs up if you did, and leave in the comments, does every year go as fast as the first? I feel like the first one has to be the fastest, but please tell me that the time slows down just a little bit and it will just not go as fast. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! I'm going to give you a little update of how I feel 1 year after I had Oliver. So I'm basically 1 year postpartum is what that means. It's crazy to think I had, like a year ago, I had a baby. Like, I had a C-section, I had surgery, I had major surgery, and a baby came out of me. After a whole year of, you know, running around with him, I've been